So hello there everyone and welcome to the second video of career mode I'm doing. Right before we get to the video, I'm just showing you where our F2 rivals assigned for. Both went for Toro Rosso and Weber for Williams. Interesting choices, they'll be at the back, we might be fighting them sometimes. And here I'm just upping the difficulty to 105 to be more at my level.
Welcome to Melbourne and the inaugural event of the F1 2019 Championship season. The session is starting shortly and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. A feeling that anything can happen this year, and if it does, well, this weekend could be the opening chapter to one of the most exciting F1 seasons ever. Joining me in the commentary box is, of course, Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you back again. What can you tell us about this year's roster? There are some new faces this year, aren't there?
Absolutely, Crofty. There's been a number of interesting signings over the last few months. Where would you like to start?
Let's talk about old-timer.
Right, well, this is definitely someone to keep an eye on. Well, they've been signed up likely in no small part due to the way they carried themselves in the Formula 2 Championship. They have a great track record of putting the team first. At one of the races, they even gave up their own position when their car had a technical issue, so that their teammate Lucas Weber, who also debuts here today, could get ahead. That kind of team spirit could take them a long way this season.
Those two aren't the only new faces from Formula 2 this season, are they?
No, this season will introduce fans to George Russell and Lando Norris, two very promising young British drivers. Plus, we'll meet Alexander Albon from Thailand, and finally, Devon Butler. Now, Devon was a bit of a controversial figure in Formula 2 last year. He racked up a lot of penalties over the course of the season, including one where he collided with his closest rival. It was an arsey clip. Now, certainly after the event, they were nothing but professional in terms of how they spoke about the incident with Devon, but it's hard to imagine them being as polite about it behind closed doors. I think this rival will be one to keep an eye on over the next few races, as both drivers take their first steps into the world of Formula 1.
This first race of the season is always quite difficult for us trackside, and for those back at the factory as well, as it's the first time the car has run since winter testing. The more consistent mileage you can get in these sessions, the happier we'll be.
So let's start the video properly now. So we're in practice 1 and the pace was really good, you know. At 105 the practice programs were all very manageable, very easy. I was able to pass all of the ones I did, and most of them, almost all of them, at purple, so it was really good. But here you could see Kimi Raikkonen actually in last place. Although he was with the hards, it's still not really very promising his pace here, as he gets last place in practice 1.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula 1. You must be thrilled. So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in? What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula 1, or do you see something more? Great, well that's everything.
So as you see here, I passed all of the programs. It was very easy. I'm not usually used to having the practice programs being so easy as they were here, but yeah, we passed all of them. We got a lot of resource points that we will be putting into development at the end of the weekend. In the practice session, in the second practice session, I went to the qualifying sim, and once again the rhythm was good. You know, we had enough pace to get to Q2. From what the sim said, so yeah, I was encouraged, you know. Up 300 tenths in our first attempt, so that was promising once again. Then we went out again, and I think we ended up having 6 tenths over, so 3 more tenths than our first attempt. That was good. Russell giving us a tow here in the last sector didn't really help us that much through the last corner, but yeah, 5 tenths in this lap, and promising pace for qualifying, which is what you want to see. We got 8th place in practice 2 and Kimi got 11th, not too far away, well, a bit far away, almost 8/10 away. So hopefully he'll improve in qualifying, because if he doesn't, he might just stay in Q1. So yeah, practice 3, I didn't really do any laps, so that was that. Let's go to qualifying.
We're just about ready to kick off today's qualifying here in Melbourne. It's the Australian Grand Prix.
So yeah, qualifying here in Australia, it's going to be our first. After the practice sessions, I was feeling encouraged. I felt like we could easily get into Q2, but not really into Q3. I don't think that would do us any good, in all honesty. So yeah, we're seeing that there might be a good chance for us to start a bit further ahead than what I was expecting. I usually, in the first few rounds of career mode, I always stay in Q1 because I usually play with the weaker teams. But in here, I felt like I could get out of Q1 easily, especially because the difficulty isn't really as high as I usually run.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
Yeah, that was a good way to start the qualifying session. Yeah, the first 4 minutes you can't get out there, so I had to sim a little bit of time so that I could get out there and do my first lap, as you'll see in just a bit. So yeah, this was me ending my first lap in qualifying. Nothing too great. Yeah, just ahead of Stroll, which isn't too bad of a rhythm, but I needed to have a better time to get to Q2, in all honesty. 12th place so far after the first lap, but yeah, we'll see here in the second lap. In the first sector we weren't really gaining too much time, but yeah, through these corners I really lost quite a bit. Then I recovered a little bit. The first time I went through there I lost quite a bit of time. Here I sort of nailed it. I could have gone faster, but it was good enough here in the second sector. And yeah, up through the line, almost 4/10 up, and that gives us 12th place, which was what I was expecting to qualify in this Australian Grand Prix. Yeah, as we see here now, Butler and Weber got ahead of us in Q1, and Kimi stayed in 18th place, which was really bad in all honesty. It was just an awful position for him, and it's really going to set him back in the race. As our first lap here, I stuck in a pair of older tires, and my time was awful.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:25.
It was really awful, so yeah, then I decided to put obviously the fresher tires, and yeah, now I'm going to show you the whole lap because it was the fastest lap all weekend that I did. And yeah, it was really good. The best lap I did throughout the whole weekend, as I said. Yeah, first corner here, very tidy, you know, didn't really lose any time, and already 2/10 up right after the first two corners. So as we get here, yeah, just pretty good once again. I mounted the curb a little bit, which I really don't like to do. As well as here I don't mind too much. Yeah, trying to get the best run out of the end of the first sector, and already 6/10 up after the first sector, which is promising. Yeah, probably the best corner I did here during the whole run, the whole weekend, I want to see. Then through here, almost perfect. Once again I mounted the curb a little bit, which actually made me lose just a little bit of time through this fast section of the track. Then here wasn't too great. I extended the track there. I don't know how it wasn't an extension of the track there. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, last sector I'm usually pretty good here. I usually do things very tidy through here, no really big mistakes, just doing everything right in the racing line. Last corner usually is not my strongest, probably my weakest corner, but there I did it almost perfectly, and 2 seconds up, and that puts us in P10, which I really wasn't expecting. It was just a very good lap, and it got me to Q3. So yeah, I was really surprised to be able to get to Q3. We were also joined by Renault and Perez from the Racing Point, and yeah, Q3 the lap was awful, half a second away from Ricardo, so I didn't really even show it here because it was just a bad lap overall. So yeah, we're going to start from 10th place, Q3, and yeah, we'll see how the race goes from now on.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race?
Hopefully I will.
Are you hoping to have your reliability issues sorted out before qualifying?
Man, I hate these questions. They're trick questions. Ah.
Appreciate your time.
Well, I don't. So yeah, we beat our rival, Kimi. 18th place, so really bad qualifying from him. In real life he did much better. He got into Q3, but here couldn't even get out of Q1, which really isn't encouraging. But hopefully in the next few races he will be qualifying higher up the grid. So yeah, I lost a lot of reputation because of what I said. That last question really screwed me over.
Alright, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Yeah, hopefully we will. Jeff just giving us some tips into turn 1, wants us to be brave breaking into turn 1, but I really don't think that's gonna happen.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that plays host to round 1 of a 21-race championship that takes us from here in Australia across the globe and the eventual season finale at the Yas Island circuit in Abu Dhabi. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year with tweaks to the regulations, a fresh-looking spread of tyre compounds, and of course some changes to the roster of car manufacturers. It's goodbye to Sauber and hello once again to the classic name of ALFA ROMEO in Formula One. It's also goodbye to Force India. They've been rebranded as Racing Point. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2019 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 5th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the performance of Red Bull, who have switched to the Honda power unit this year. What that will mean for both their performance and reliability remains to be seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Gasly, Perez, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo and old-timer, Stroll, Grosjean, Carlos Sainz and Butler, Magnussen, Norris, Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell. Albon and Lucas Weber completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, you've qualified higher than we expected, so let's try to build on this position throughout the race.
Yeah, hopefully we will do that. So as you saw there on the grid, Lucas Weber already has a penalty on his Williams. Very interesting, right in the first race. So anyway, the car setup, I'm just showing it here in case anyone, is kind of looking for one. Nothing really too special. I got it out of time trial. Saw it from other people that were driving fast and had this one, so yeah, decided to get it. The strategy is a 2-stop from the softs to the mediums twice. and yeah, nothing more. As far as strategy, I trusted the team with the best strategy because I really didn't want to get into Q3 because 11th, 12th position would have been the best for us so that we could choose the tires. I would have gone from the mediums to the hards, just do a one stop, but this is what we got, so we have to do the best we can with it. So yeah, all the cars were lining up in the grid so that we can start the race. Here we go, 5 red lights, and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix. We didn't have a bad start, in all honesty. It was good enough. Going to turn 1, we were able to kind of keep position. Stroll did have a look up on the outside, but we were able to remain there. We're now going on the inside of Ricardo, but he's just going to be able to hold on. And now we're following him through the first sector. We kept the position, which was good enough. But Stroll is all over us, so we have to defend hard here. He did give us a little bit of a touch on the outside, but we kept the position. And now we're losing touch with the Reynolds. And once again, Stroll is coming on the outside, but I'm able to defend it and just keep going. And we keep losing touch with the guys ahead, which really isn't doing our race any good. So here's a replay of the start. As you can see here, I'm weaving a little bit all over. Oh no, that wasn't me, sorry, that was a Reynolds. Kind of forgot I'm not in Reynolds, because last season in league racing I was racing with one. But anyway, this was us just going through that corner once again. I think this is lap 2. Yeah, this is lap 2. Grosjean was able to get past Stroll, and he's now going to be all over us. And getting into lap 3, as you can see, the Reynolds are just up ahead, maybe what, 2-3 seconds ahead of us, and we're really losing touch with them, and that's really going to pull our race in fighting for higher points. Anyway, Grosjean is looking on the outside, but I'm able to keep the position. As I lose a little bit of the car there, too much understeer, but I was able to keep it in the track, as you can see here. There was really nothing you could do there. I kind of squeezed him on the grass a little bit. Not really my intention, I was just trying to hold my line. Anyway, after this, Grosjean and Stroll started to fight a little bit, which allowed me to stretch the muscles a little bit and try and set my own pace, but I didn't really get too far away from them. And at this point I was just cruising a little bit, trying not to use too much of anything, in all honesty. Using high battery, which is the maximum I go for.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. We're leading our teammate by 2.6 seconds.
So yeah, the team recommended that I stop the lap earlier, and I said, yeah, I'm really struggling with the soft tires. I usually struggle a lot with softer tires. I'm usually better in harder compounds, like probably most people. But especially if I qualify in the softest tire, I usually can't really take them that long. I just use the tires too much in the first few laps and I kill them completely. And that's kind of what happened. Although I could have gone for maybe 2 extra laps on them, but I really felt like if I went to the mediums, I would have a better chance. As you can see here, I'm defending on the outside. Pretty good move there from Stroll, but I was able to keep it. Then once again, later in the lap, he tried to go on the inside here, but this is really not that much of an easier overtaking position on the track.
Pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
I will keep that in mind, Jeff. Anyway, going on to the beginning of lap 6, we're going to pit now. We're going to be probably the first car to pit on the whole grid, and we're going on to the mediums. So right now we're going to drop to dead last. Changing our tires here, and as you can see there, Albon and Weber are in the last 2 positions right ahead of us in the soft tires, in the softest tires, that they will be able to stretch maybe.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Like I was saying, they'll probably be able to stretch it 3-4 more laps and then either go to the hards or go to the mediums and then stop again. I don't really remember what they did at this point. Anyway, this was after I pitted, and yeah, just doing some fastest laps for me, you know, for my race. Just going faster every lap. And then, you know, the Reynolds, both of them got in front of me, sort of in the same, with the same advantage that they had before.
Gap to car in front is 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, actually even less. I was able to undercut them by like 1 second, which was good. Here I'm just showing a replay of me losing the car a little bit once again. Do never mount that curb, that's awful. Yeah, here I think I'm going to get my first, my first warning for exceeding track limits. Nah, didn't really struggle too much with it. Only probably by the end of the race in my second stint on the mediums, or third stint overall. Yeah, these were the cars that pitted and that were behind me. At this point I was in 10th place like I was after qualifying, and yeah, it was a good position that I was in. But the cars behind, they were catching up because they all went to the softs again, so that they in the end go to the mediums. So yeah, Magnussen having a look on the outside but blocking there, and he was able to keep on the outside, but I was able to keep the position. So as you'll see here, yeah, he was just going on the outside, he burned the braking there and was able to stay on the outside, but I was able to keep the position anyway. He really didn't have the best exit speed, so I was able to keep the position. Now moving a little bit forward, this was the middle part of the race. Magnussen was all on the back of me, but he really couldn't get away to get past me. I would like to say that I'm good at defending against the AI. I don't want to be dirty or anything like that, but you know, and I usually am not, you know, driving dirty against the AI, but sometimes you have to squeeze them a little bit out just so you can keep the position, because they will be very aggressive, especially in this game. This time I decided to kind of let him go, but then I saw that he kind of went a little bit slow here, and then he went to the grass alone. I didn't really push him, he just went alone, and yeah, it was weird. I was able to get the position back. Here he had a look on the inside like many before, but once again couldn't do anything about it. And I was able to keep going, but he's still on the back of me. This was quite a good fight, I have to say. Magnussen was giving me a hard time, but I was just able to keep defending the position. Just usually doing the same move over and over again. This time Magnussen lost a lot of time there, and I was able to pull away from him. Anyway, this is the fight at the front of the pack, you know, just fighting for the win. I think that was Hamilton, Leclerc, and Verstappen or Gasly, I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, here is me losing the back end once again. And yeah, once again Magnussen was really struggling on the braking points, and yeah, just kept blocking the brakes, and yeah, couldn't really get past me. Once again having to look on the outside. Once again I defend the inside, and I'm able to keep the position. It was pretty much always the same moves. But anyway, we're going to stop for our last stint once again on the mediums. And this is when our race got a little bit weird, you know, because yeah, we lost a little bit of time because Weber was also stopping. And while we were on the pits, Max Verstappen, here he is, retired from the race. Not really sure what was his problem. Doesn't really seem to be the engine. It just seems like his car just gave up and decided to, yeah, he had to retire there. Once again, mounting the curb. This time, fresher tires was a bit easier.
Virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
So yeah, here we had the safety car, I think because of Max Verstappen, I believe. I didn't think there was any other incident there, so yeah. So yeah, the virtual safety car was put in place, and now it's ending. And I'm right at the back of my after arrival, and here I just reacted better to the ending of the virtual safety car, and I got side by side with Butler. I'm going on the inside, and I'm able to get the position. Kind of squeeze them out a little bit, just so I could get the position and get, you know, a decent enough exit while giving him a bad one in the process. And yeah, we got rid of Butler, and after this he didn't really fight back anymore. He just didn't have the pace to fight with us. I really don't know why Alfa Romeo is considered like the second worst car, but yeah, it should really probably be Toro Rosso. At least in the game it seems like they're weaker. Anyway, this is Roman Grosjean. Grosjean. Anyway, retiring from the race. 2 cars already retiring, Grosjean and Max Verstappen. And yeah, he's out of the race, and that promotes us to P13. We have Butler arrived at the back of us, but we're going to lose him in the next few laps. And after this, nothing happened in my race until the end, pretty much. So this is the train that was ahead of me, that I was trying to catch up. And yeah, there was some really good fighting here. I think this is Carlos Sainz going on the outside of Perez, I believe. Yeah, he went on the outside, but yeah, Perez was able to keep the position. Sainz didn't really get the best exit in the world and stayed behind him. Here we have Nico Hülkenberg getting past Stroll. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is Stroll. Yeah, Hülkenberg getting ahead of Stroll. And this is the train of cars that I was trying to catch up. There's some really good fighting here. I decided to pull up the replay cameras and just, you know, show a little bit of it, because my race here was pretty much nowhere. As you can see here, lap 27, I'm still some good 2.5 seconds away from them. I was catching up ever so slightly every lap, like 2 or 3 tenths, maybe a bit more, but I really didn't have enough pace to get to them at this point, so that was a bit of a shame. Butler as well started to drop off. The Toro Rosso really isn't that strong. And as you can see here, Lewis Hamilton is going to win the first race of the season. Pretty good pace all weekend. Got the pole and got the win. And that was that for the race. I can tell right now that Leclerc got 2nd place and Gasly ended up in 3rd. I don't know where Vettel and Bottas were, but they were quite a bit behind. But as you can see here, I was really catching up to them. But anyway, that's P13, no points. Yeah.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So yeah, quite an interesting podium there. Hamilton, Leclerc and Gasly. Gasly didn't even get a podium so far this season in real life, so interesting to see him here getting P3. Anyway, our strategy getting to Q3 really killed us in the race. Yeah, the soft tires really died very early in the race, and that set me back massively. Then the second stint was relatively good. I was still in P10, but last stint we came out behind the train and we just didn't have enough pace to get there, and it was really unfortunate for us. Really unfortunate. Anyway, Raikkonen as well ended P17. A really awful race from him. And yeah, overall not a bad race, but the strategy kind of just didn't work. So Q3 really didn't help us at all. I was expecting to be P12.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
That was a good race for Lucas. Are you pleased to see him doing well?
Yeah, it was kind of good, I have to say so.
You and Devon weren't far apart by the end of the race. How evenly matched are you?
I think I'm better.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
That would be telling.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
I didn't scrape the walls. Come on. Damn it, Claire.
Appreciate your time.
Damn, these last questions are killing me. Yeah, I was able to beat Raikkonen pretty comprehensively 4-2. And right now we're leading the rivalry. And we got some good resource points that we will be spending in just a few moments. I think we're almost at 2,000 or over 2,000. Not sure. Didn't really see there, didn't really wait to let the game show us.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one. You're not the only driver to be hounded by the press. Emails, like the one I've just sent you, will give you an insight on how your former Formula 2 rivals are handling the press. Be sure to check your emails regularly, as I'll be sure to send you any of the more, let's say, interesting press transcripts that come my way. Looks like one of your rivals is also going to an upcoming historical event. If you choose to take him on, it might help get your name out there a bit.
So as you can see here, we have the interview that Lucas Faber gave. Nothing too special, just talking about myself, Butler, and Russell, his teammate. So as far as the upgrades, we're going with a front wing upgrade, this one right here. It's going to be 1,000 resource points. We're also going for durability. Everybody does this at the beginning of their career modes anyway, and it really is useful. And we have this one as well for the chassis. That will help us a little bit through the more technical circuits. And this will cut it as far as for the upgrades that we're going to put into the car. They'll only show up by China and I think Baku as well. And yeah, this was the video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and also hopefully the next race will be better. And I'll leave you with the highlights of the race. I'll see you in the next one.